Sony just held their press conference. They had the usual titles that most were expecting to see. No real big surprises here, so I'm going to cut their hour-long conference way down and talk briefly on everything they showed. Kicking things off is a new entry into the Naughty Dog's Uncharted series called Lost Legacy, this time starring Chloe instead of Nathan Drake. Though this is a DLC for Uncharted 4, you can consider it somewhat of a sequel to the ongoing series. These games are of the highest quality, so definitely be excited for this. Horizon Zero Dawn showcased a quick trailer for the new DLC coming out called The Frozen Wilds. Not a whole lot to see other than snow and mechanical monsters to kill, but what else do you need to know, really? Next is Days Gone, an open world zombie game where you play as a biker fighting against a horde of zombies. First off, this game looks gorgeous. The sheer amount of zombies you have to deal with at a time is horrifying, but in a very, very pleasant way. This time not showing a heavy focus on guns blazing, but a very subtle approach with stealth and setting traps. Monster Hunter World is finally coming to PS4 and Xbox. This is a series that originally came out on the PS2, but then became a Nintendo exclusive. The basic premise of the game is that you're a monster hunter, of course, and, well, you hunt monsters. You start with smaller ones, skinning them for meat and materials to create weapons and gear, and eventually working your way up the food chain. You can play solo or preferably with friends. This is a very, very fun title, so keep your eyes on this one. This is something that I didn't see coming. A Shadow of the Colossus remake. The game is a cult classic. It is very minimal in its gameplay, but also very grand at the same time. Many people missed out on this gem once upon a time ago, so I'm thrilled to see that they're doing a total overhaul and bringing it to modern gamers. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite looks like they are actually adding a storyline to this fighting game. These games are usually very enjoyable, and that moment when Dante throws his trusty handguns to Rocket was simply sublime. Release date is in September, but there is a story demo that is available now. Of course, we had the new Call of Duty World War II, mostly a cinematic trailer with what looks like some actual gameplay dabbled in. Was hoping they talk about it a little bit more, but it is a Call of Duty title, so I'm sure not a whole lot's changed other than the boots on the ground that everyone has been wanting for years. It does look very similar to Battlefield 1, but that may be because Call of Duty has been futuristic for so long. Now people associate realistic shooters with Battlefield. Still, looks very, very enjoyable. They showcased their VR games, starting with Skyrim, which looks fantastic, a side scroller game called Star Child, a beautiful thriller game called The Impatient, a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game, lols, a first person shooter called Bravo Team, and a puzzle game called Moss, starring a mouse. Then what everyone was waiting for, the new God of War. This game looks phenomenal, simply breathtaking. There aren't enough adjectives to describe this game. I am very, very excited for this title, as I'm sure most people are. It looks like his son will be accompanying Kratos on his journey. Though he does help out in fights, it seems like his real use is in knowledge, knowing legends and somehow understanding the language of a giant snake called the World Serpent. The more I see of this, the more I get excited. Expect it early 2018. Detroit Become Human is a game of choices. Including last year's E3, they have shown at least two androids that you'll play as. The choices you make change the flow and outcome of the game. If you played Heavy Rain, then you understand what type of game this is. And I might add that the graphics may be the most realistic that I've ever seen in any game. A new Destiny 2 trailer dropped. Nothing really new here other than showcasing the PlayStation exclusives, which include a sniper rifle, a strike, and PvP map. I was hoping they show just a little bit more, but they did announce beta dates. Pre-orders get beta on July 18th, and it goes live for everyone the 21st, lasting until the 23rd. Lastly, they closed out with an exclusive Spider-Man title. It looks fun and like the Spider-Man game we've been waiting years for. Gameplay does look similar to the Arkham series, but that's not a bad thing. With lots of ways to use your web to fight and tons of interactable items in the environment, this game doesn't look like it'll disappoint. But I don't think that this title quite has the weight needed to close out the press conference, which is somewhat of a letdown. Overall, the Sony press conference was subpar. God of War stole the show. Monster Hunter was a nice surprise, but they really missed some opportunities by not showcasing more Destiny or Call of Duty gameplay, or even showing some of the more hyped titles like the Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts 3. It really just lowered the overall quality. With Xbox announcing their new console, Sony really didn't have anything of the same wow factor. But that's it for this year's Sony E3 event.